After landing a defensive lineman commitment over the weekend, the Ducks are now trending for another big-time defensive target. Oregon now has the number 6 ranked class in the country when it comes to the 2025 cycle, and the Ducks have several offensive commitments, but they're about to go on a run on the defensive side of the ball. We're going to figure it all out today with Justin Hopkins of Scoop Duck. But first, Oregon fans, do me a favor and hit subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We are going to be here all off season for you talking Ducks recruiting. So do me a favor and hit subscribe for me. All right, let's bring on Justin Hopkins from Scoop Duck. And all right, so just before the weekend, we got a little bit of big news. DJ Pickett, the number 7 ranked player in the class, cut his list to a top 5. LSU, Michigan, Miami, and Georgia joined the Ducks in that 5. So what are your sources saying about where DJ Pickett stands with the Ducks coming off that unofficial to Eugene just about 2 weeks ago now?
Well, I'm glad you note he's coming off the unofficial to Oregon very recently, because I think that's a big reason Oregon made the top 5, and I think they might lead right now. And that, that just can be because, as we both know, the visit glow coming off of that, it's not his first visit. He's been to Oregon multiple times already, but I think the Ducks might be the team to beat early on. We both know there's a lot left to go here. We know LSU's not giving up. Miami's not giving up. There's a really good football player, but I like where Oregon stands today. And this is one of those guys that you just kind of keep chopping wood, if you will, and kind of see where the hats fall, come September, October, November when he gets down to business.
Yeah, I kind of got the same feel that we're not getting close to a decision from DJ Pickett. It's all about those points of contact, and Oregon's done a great job of getting him on campus already. I don't think that's going to stop in the spring and into the summer. All right, so defensive lineman Matthew Johnson, he committed over the weekend. That was a big defensive get. Oregon now has the number 6 ranked class, but they're trending for more. In top 50 prospect linebacker Nasir Wyatt out of California. He's trending to Oregon on the recruiting prediction machine. And Justin, there's some buzz that a decision could be coming soon. What are your sources saying?
Yeah, Oregon did a great job getting onto him over a year ago and really, again, chopping wood at that time. And that's kind of gotten us to where we are now. And I do think that this is one for Oregon fans to watch. He hasn't set a date. He hasn't specified that he's committing soon, but there's certainly a lot of buzz with that happening. And I think Matt Johnson, as his commitment happened the other day, I think that was kind of a tipping point. Johnson noted that Wyatt was one of the guys he was recruiting hardest and will continue to recruit to Oregon now. So I think that one has real legs to it. Oregon at the moment looks like the clear team to beat. And if a decision does come soon, which most of us are expecting, you got to think that it's going to be really good news for the Ducks ultimately.
All right. So let's stay with that trend. And there's another top 50 linebacker out of the state of California. Now, there might be a little work to do here with Noah McHale. He's out of California. Major target. Is he one that Dan Lanning is making a priority? And do you think that the Ducks can come around and get into Noah McHale's recruitment?
Yeah, I think, Oregon did a great job at linebacker recruiting last year, but I think this is the year where you kind of build that foundation for depth. And obviously, if you can get a Nasir Wyatt and a Noah McHale, that's kind of where that falls into place. And so, those two guys, Wyatt and McHale, just look like the kind of guys that Dan Lanning takes a personal, recruitment. He takes a part in their recruitment, and he doesn't do that with a lot of guys. Mm-hmm. And I said this last year with Elijah Rushing, and it feels like the same with these two guys. There's some guys that it feels like Dan Lanning won't let get away out of the Western footprint unless there's absolutely nothing he can do about it. And Wyatt and McHale fit the bill. Elijah Rushing fit the bill last year. Aiden Breland fit the bill as well last year. So those are two guys I think Dan Lanning's got circled and will do everything he can to make sure they're Ducks. Like you said, Oregon's in a really great spot with Wyatt. They're certainly in the game with McHale, but I think there's a long ways to go, and I wouldn't say they're the clear-cut leader.
All right, so let's stay on the defensive side of the ball. Besides DJ Pickett, who would you consider the most important target on defense in this 2025 cycle for the Ducks?
Well, it'll probably be really interesting because it's an unranked player, and I know that doesn't raise headlines, but recently Treon Odum, defensive lineman out of North Carolina, he's 6'4", 6'5", 250, 260. There's not a lot it's not a great national class for defensive linemen overall, as we've seen in years past. It's a really, really light class out west in particular for defensive linemen. So Treon Odum makes the cut for me, or is my pick, because Oregon has put a lot of energy into recruiting him. He visited Oregon 2 weeks ago for the first time, and the remarks he made about the Ducks were probably some of the best comments I've read in a while from a recruit doing an interview. So I think Oregon's really prioritized him. I realize Odum is unranked, but if you look at the coaches that stopped by towards the end of January and his offer list, this is a guy that's probably going to skyrocket up the rankings this year.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're like in the second week of the 2025 cycle, so I wouldn't get too caught up with the rankings just yet. I'm sure our boy Charles Power will have him well ranked by the time he's ready to commit. But Justin Hopkins, you look great. You look like you're ready to go play a round of golf. Thank you for talking a little Oregon recruiting today on the Inside Scoop.
Anytime, Josh. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that content, be sure to subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We have a new page dedicated only to recruiting. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now.